morning. I'm on my way right now to Pilates. Guys, I don't know what's going on with my skin. I woke up with like a huge flare out. It's Monday, so today is gonna be a very Monday type of day. I want to get like my week started in good spirits. So I'm trying to have this early workout today. As I was saying, I have a little bit of skin flare up. I don't even think it's stress because I haven't been stressed this week. I don't know. I think it's just like a flare up. I've been to this Pilates studio once before. It's a very chill Pilates studio. There's ones that are a little bit more upbeat, but this one's like very chill. Is necessary on those days when you just don't feel like having a very intense workout. Don't get me wrong, Pilates is so hard. Like, it honestly kicks my butt sometimes. Finished my workout. I'm gonna quickly go to Whole Foods right now because it was right by the Pilates studio. And I'm gonna grab a little yogurt just because we ran out, and I was thinking like, what do I want for breakfast? 9 a.m. we finished our workout. It feels amazing. Thinking about dyeing my hair black. Should I do it? Okay guys, back home. I'm gonna go ahead and set these in. I think we'll cut them like half at least. Hey guys, and I decided to put the hydrangeas on the dining table, and they look so cute. My latest fixation, a plain yogurt, 100% grass-fed, purely Elizabeth grain-free nut granola. Add a little chia seeds, a bit of cacao nibs. I like to add a little bit of berries. Mix all of it in. My little yummy snack that I've been obsessed with in the mornings, my coffee, just so I have something in my tummy before I have coffee. It makes me pretty full. Okay. Coffee time. I'm going right now to buy hair dye. I decided that I want to dye my hair darker. I think I could do it myself. I'm tired of going to the salon. Do a little DIY. I'm going to Sally's and I'm going to buy the developer, the dye. I got hair dye, so I got a bowl. Wella cream developer, gloss and refresh for my ends. Basically, I have to get gloves. So we are going to go home, dye our hair. Guys, I just dyed my hair from home. This is the results, you guys. Like, I look crazy. I tried my best not to make a mess. Dyeing your hair black is so freaking messy. Like the purple undertone just, it gets everywhere. Like, slithered myself in Vaseline. I think I'm the most scared of washing this off. I think my shower is gonna turn purple. You guys, half the day later, it took me so long to clean after dyeing my hair. My whole shower was purple. But like toilet bowl cleaner and like literally just scrub the heck out of my shower. It took me so long. Oh, I finally am done, you guys. Obsessed with the color. Like, I love it dark. It's always such a subtle difference when you go from brown to jet black, but like for me, I think it's something about just like my skin tone. I feel like the jet black makes my eyes pop a lot more. I figured I would just like get ready for the day just to have the full effect of like my hair and makeup. I also, you guys, cut my bangs by myself. I was like, you know what, I want bangs. I'm so tired of going to the salon and paying literally $100 for them to do this. I can do this myself. I love it, you guys. What do we think of the jet black? Okay, anyways, let's go get ready for hi. So we are gonna be getting ready for the day. I just want to do my simple like everyday type of makeup look, just to really also like put together this hair with the whole vibe. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with some glow drops and a skin serum. I have been loving these glow drops from Typology. I recently got introduced to this brand. They are a French skincare brand. Everything is skincare infused. These glow drops, skin tint, like they all have vitamins like vitamin C, squalane, and aloe vera. And so like while I'm getting ready and giving myself a little boost of a glow, I'm also kind of like doing my skincare just with the glow drops. You guys can see like that really gorgeous glow that gave me. So then I'm gonna go in with the Typology Tinted Skin Serum. I feel like I'm getting a gorgeous color while just doing my skincare. What I love about just skincare brands that are not USA based is how the ingredients list is so much more trustworthy. One thing I've noticed as somebody that lives in the US, a lot of the stuff that's allowed in products here is not allowed anywhere else. When I stumbled upon Typology, one of the things that I loved is that France has a lot stricter regulations when it comes to like what goes into their makeup, what goes into their skincare. 80% of their ingredients are naturally derived, so you kind of like know what you're putting into your skin. Just upon blending this into my skin, you can see redness to diminish, and I have this gorgeous, just radiant, natural glow with a slight skin tint, but it just looks like my skin. Everything is manufactured and formulated in France. Every single product is skincare infused. So even if it's makeup, it's not makeup, it's literally skincare. Even going in with their concealer, this is a serum concealer. It has caffeine in it, so while you're covering up those dark circles, you're also treating your dark circles. I love how it shows you like on the packaging the vitamins that this is infused with. I'm gonna go ahead and put some of this just to bronze up my face, and it gives me like that glowiness. Like even the setting powder, 97% naturally derived. Like this is 99% naturally derived. Like, I'm gonna go ahead now and use their serum mascara. You guys probably get the gist now that basically every product is like skincare. These have peptides for your lashes, which I think is amazing because you're nourishing your lashes while you're putting on mascara. Here in the packaging tells you right away this is made with like 1% pea peptides. You know, this is a lash and brow serum. This also has like peptides. I'm gonna put a little bit of that on, that way I'm nourishing my eyebrows while also like brushing them upwards. I have so many lip oils to choose from. These can be used as a little pop of color. There's so many colors. I think I'm gonna do a little cocktail. I love pink and purple, so why not mix the two? Use this as a lip oil or as a blush. So this is the first color. Use the plum purple. We're gonna mix the two. Look at the glowiness, the dewiness. It blends out so beautifully. Actually obsessed with all of their products. Back with my Glow Drops, which is the most universal product from them because you could use it in so many different ways. I'm gonna put it on the highest points of my cheekbones just to give me a really subtle highlight. Look at that, you guys. Watch. This is a lip peeling product, and you just put this on to exfoliate your lips. You're just gonna exfoliate. You don't have to rinse it off or take it off or anything like that. But for my lip color, I'm going to be using this. It's like a plum color. Put some of that on. That's such a pretty color. By the way, their aim is to only keep the essentials in their products. I'm ready, and it was so quick to do my makeup. We enhanced our natural features that we already have. Skincare infused products that are going to be nurturing our skin. I do have a special offer for you guys with Typology, where if you do spend $40 on the link that I'm going to have in the description, you guys will be receiving the Orange Blossom Hydrolate for free. Make sure you guys take advantage of this special offer. You guys can get your free gift along with your purchase. I am gonna okay, so I know this might be a little surprising, but I actually somehow gotten a lip appointment. I haven't gotten my lips done, I would say, since like I think it was like November, December last year. It's now August. It's literally August 1st. So it's been like quite some time. To be fair, it did last a really long time on me. But anyways, I'm going to Nurse Nikki, a beauty clinic. I've been going to her for years. You guys already know she's my favorite for the lippies. So I think we're going to just do a slight touch up, nothing crazy. I think like half a syringe max.
Wait, I didn't Alright, now we'll do the flip. Remember, it goes a little box.
Hey guys, so I did the filler. This is straight after. You guys saw the process. Huge shout out as usual to Nurse Nikki. She is amazing. Like, I did a lip flip and I did filler. If you're in North Miami, Fort Lauderdale, South Florida, and you're looking for someone to do your filler naturally and that knows what they're doing, go to Nurse Nikki. She is amazing. the office itself, like the clinic, is so cute. Like, it's like a vibe, you know, like you could tell that it's owned by a woman because it's like really feminine and girly, and just like the whole team is so sweet. Oh my god, and they also gave me a little keychain. I'm obsessed with it. I literally am like, I'm telling you guys, they're the nicest team. Of my results, see right now they're a little swollen, which every time I get my lips done I'm like, oh, I don't want them to be swollen, and then I'm like, I kind of love them swollen. Watch me in 2 weeks be like, I want to go back so they look like that. I have some Q&A that I want to answer for you guys. So, and then tonight I have dinner with my mom. I have to figure out what we're gonna cook. So yeah, that's the game plan. Okay, hey guys, welcome to the FaceTime segment of the vlog. I feel like I've been wanting to do this for a while. I want to do a Q&A and just kind of like have a little chat with you guys, with my girls, and I did put a question box for you guys on Instagram. So I did just have some screenshots over here of like all the different questions from all of you guys, and I say that we just get right into it. First one that I really like: please give me your best advice for relationships. You and Herman seem so strong. What is your biggest advice for long-term relationships? Also, can you tell us how you guys met? Right, so first of all, back end story. Let's talk about how we met. So the very first time I met him, I was invited to a house party, and at the time I was speaking to another boy, and that's why I was at that party. It was literally for this boy that I was talking to. Herman happened to be at that party, and that's where he saw me for the first time. And I remember noticing him, thinking that he was cute. He was my type, tall, dark, and like he just seemed to be really outgoing. I remember he was smoking hookah, which was a thing back then. I feel like nobody does that anymore. And he was doing like the O's, and I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. You know how we were back then. I was like, oh my god, that is so cool. Can you teach me how to do it? And I remember that was like my first interaction with him. I remember having like a small side conversation with him. And then I forgot about him because I was focused on this boy that I was talking to. But without me even knowing, like Herman followed me on Instagram, he added me on Snapchat. I didn't even know that that was the guy that I had that brief interaction with at the party. So it all comes together full circle. So me and this boy ended up not working out. Like, there was just whatever. We didn't work. Herman found out about it. So, and Herman knows this boy. We weren't very close or anything. It was just kind of like a circle thing, like a similar circle. But he was, just to be respectful, he was like, is it okay if I start talking to Joanna? Well, whatever. Then Herman decided to slide into my Snapchat, and he started like sending me snaps every day. So basically we started sending each other snaps. I didn't think anything about it. I was like, oh, like another guy like that I'm just talking to for fun. I also was so let down with what happened with this boy at the time. Let's sidetrack a little even more. I've always been a relationship girl, and I don't know what it is. It's just I love the comfort of like having someone. So I always like to have a boy in my life. So basically, before this boy, me and this boy didn't work out. Me and another boy didn't work out when I was living in Europe. I was just so tired of being let down by men. I was just like, I lost hope in it. I was like, something always happens. So I was already let down twice. And here comes Herman, obviously wanting to take me on a date and talk to me. And I was kind of like not in the headspace. So I was like, I'm gonna friend zone this guy. Like, I don't want to waste my time. I really don't want to speak to anyone right now. I had like some of his girlfriends like reaching out to me, being like, Herman is such a nice guy. Like, you really should, you know, give him a chance. Like, I feel like he really likes you. He's like, give him a chance. And so this is a mutual friend I was talking about. Shout out to her. She really did push me a little more to like maybe give him a chance. And this girl aren't that close anymore, but I was like, you know what? Fine. Like, he's a nice guy. Maybe I'll give him a chance. You know, we could like hang out as friends. He picks me up from my house. We go to like a museum, which I thought was really cool and different because I feel like usually like I would just go eat with somebody. I feel like went to get like a pastry and a coffee at this French cafe in Miami Beach, and I feel like it was so different than what any other guy has always kind of done with me. Like, I think most guys would just like to take me to a really nice restaurant, but Herman decided to like have an interactive, like fun experience for the whole day. I really appreciated all the thought he put into it. I was like, okay, that's so nice. What I ended up spending the whole entire day with him, and I didn't think of anything like, oh my god, like I'm gonna have a boyfriend right now. I remembered like feeling like I've known this person forever, and like I knew him from another lifetime or something, because it was really crazy to me how much we clicked instantly. I feel like in my prior relationships or situationships, boys, like, I don't know what it was. I felt like I couldn't be myself, and like I had to put up a front to like be the type of who I'm not. And for the first time with Herman, I felt like I was fully able to be like my silly self. I never felt that I could do that because I feel like a lot of the other situationships I was with, I had to put on like a fake persona for them to like me. I don't know what it is. Like, you know how like sometimes you just like want to act like we're like perfect all the time, and that's what I would put up. I would put up a front like I'm perfect. Although like I don't care about anything. Like with Herman, I didn't act like that. I didn't act like I didn't care. I didn't act perfect. It showed him like all my flaws, all my true self, and he like accepted that. I feel so comfortable. So it was almost like I knew him all my life. Another thing in the back of my head was that he was living in New York at the time for school. I really don't want to do long distance. I told him I really don't want to do long distance. It was just not for me. Herman like made me feel so safe, and he made me feel like nothing is an issue. Like, it's not a problem. It's a long distance, it's not a problem. Like, we're gonna make it work. Like, I promise you, it's gonna work. And I was like, you know what? Like, okay, fine. Like, maybe I should give it a chance. And at the time, actually, like, my plan was to move to New York. And I was like, you know what? This is a great idea. Like, we should just move in together and go to New York. Thank God that didn't happen because, and our parents, like, stopped us from doing that because we were so young and it was crazy, but we thought it was normal. We didn't end up moving in together, so basically we ended up doing long distance. It was so easy. A lot of people say long distance is hard. I think that it was pretty easy for us. Don't get me wrong, there was times that I felt like kind of lonely and like on the weekend wish that like he was with me. It went by so quick because pretty much every month he would visit because his family lives in Florida, or I would visit him in New York because I loved going to New York regardless. It was just like a fun thing to do for the weekend. So yeah, that is how we met, and since then I guess the rest is history. We somehow stayed super strong. We like pushed through whatever mountains were thrown at us. Okay, so going back to the question how to make long-term relationships work, like what is my best advice for relationships, I would have to say is to fight for your relationship, because I think that a lot of times people these days, the second they run into a problem, they're like, okay, you're just not for me, like let's break up, like let's give up on each other. And I think that when you know that you found your person, giving up easily is one of the things these days that like is like, oh, the grass is greener on the other side type of thing. I think the grass isn't greener on the other side, obviously, unless you're going through an obviously like very toxic relationship, blah blah, then of course break up. But I'm talking about like when you know this is like the love of your life, maybe there's some disagreements, maybe there's things that you can work on together and grow with as a couple. Like I always say this, like me and Herman literally grew up together. Like I met him when I was 21, I'm 27 now. He's seen so many different versions of me, and I've seen so many different versions of him. He probably has seen not the best versions of me, and I probably have seen not the best versions of him. But that's what's beautiful about it, is we have been with each other through all of our ups and downs and through all of our growths that we like had to go through. Nowadays people are always like, you know, there's all these like dating apps and there's all these opportunities with social media, so you're always like, you know what, this isn't gonna work, like I'm gonna find someone better for myself. Maybe in some cases, but I think that nurturing your grass in your household is the most important thing when it comes to relationship, because the grass is not actually green. People think that because in the honeymoon stage of a relationship everything seems perfect, and when I met Herman, you know, obviously for the first almost a year, like everything really did seem perfect. Like we were in a honeymoon bubble, you know, and then it came so many things. It came like, what are the next steps for us? Like, what do we want to do? How do we want to involve with the work? There were so many things, like Herman, like just getting out of college free, figuring out his life, me like figuring out my life, like us eventually moving in together. Like there was just so many things that we had to go through and nurture and grow, and that was no longer the honeymoon stage. That was like real life. And so I think that when people think the grass is greener on the other side, it's because they're seeking that honeymoon stage again. But the grass will be greener for a little. Like you can easily break up with someone and go try to find someone better, but you find someone better, you're gonna notice their flaws eventually. You're gonna notice, wait, this person actually isn't perfect. Wait, this is real life. Like we're not actually living in some fantasy. There's these issues and these issues. Like, is it worth it? Am I gonna fight for it? Is this what I want for my life? There's just so many things that go into a relationship. You might think the grass is greener on the other side. You might go for someone else and think they're perfect, but then you will notice things again that you probably don't like, and you're gonna be like, okay, we should break up. And then the cycle is just like never ending. And that's why the dating world these days is so crazy, because people just are like, I don't like this, moving on to the next one, on to bigger, better things. Whereas me, I saw something in Herman, like he had the values that I was looking for in a husband. Like I knew that he was very family oriented. I knew that he has a really good heart. I knew that like, he would make a really great dad someday. Taking those core principles of, is he my best friend? Do I feel comfortable? Or am I in love with him? Like, do I love him? Can I picture my life without him? Like all these things, you're like, okay, this is my person. Whatever life throws at us, we are gonna get through it. And that's why obviously now that we're engaged and like marriage is coming up, that's what a marriage ultimately is. You can't just get married and get a divorce, because in a marriage nothing, like, life is gonna throw at you a lot of things and you're gonna have to go through it. And that's why like when you get married and they ask you like through sick or worse, or you know the speech, for better for worse, you are making that lifetime commitment to be with each other no matter what life throws at you. Me just being such a loyal person, like all my life I've always been this way. Like I've never been in a relationship with someone that I knew I wouldn't do everything for. Like with Herman, I saw it that way already, even like before he proposed to me, blah blah. I was always like, whatever life throws at us, like we're gonna like get through it, we're gonna make it work. And I think he saw it the same way. We nurtured our grass, we fed our grass, we took care of our grass, we took care of everything in our relationship in order to make it work, in order for us to be lifelong partners. Now listen, not every relationship is so serious. Maybe you just want to have fun with a guy, maybe you just want to hook up with a guy, like, but I'm speaking for the girls that are looking for something long term. I think my biggest advice is to nurture your grass, like take care of your grass. And that involves really mature conversations, that involves talking about things that maybe you don't really want to talk about. Relationships are amazing, and it's so nice to have a person that is literally your best friend, and a person that you can spend every single day with and that you can rely on and trust. Like that's why I've always loved being in a relationship. But relationships also involve a lot of sacrifice, a lot of hard conversation, uncomfortable conversations. If you want to be with somebody, you have to go through these things in order to make it a beautiful, successful, like lifelong relationship. So that's like my biggest advice, to nurture it. And obviously I'm speaking about like healthy circumstances, like if your boyfriend is acting like nasty, if there's something that is just unforgivable, that's different. That's when I think okay. But if you're with somebody that you know you really love, can see yourself with in the long run, I would say nurture it and have those conversations, work through it. But that takes two mature people. It's not just you. Make sure like obviously your partner is willing to, through all that, like we created something beautiful. We created a relationship where we grew in every aspect of life together. In the last 7 years, grew up with each other. Like I feel like he's like my other half. Like I feel like he's accepted every single part of me and I've accepted every single part of him. He's the only one that really knows the real me. That says a lot, and I think same goes for him. That's what's beautiful about long-term relationships, is like when you nurture them like that, you really are like each other's just soulmate. Like, and I do believe in soulmates. It honestly is a beautiful thing. But anyways, that's my biggest advice for a successful relationship. Moving forward, okay, best advice on how to avoid toxic people when you have to be near them, and how to have healthy friendships, blah blah blah. Yes, I've been through stages in my life where I have had to cut out certain people from my life just because I felt like it was necessary and it was the only way for me to move forward in my life in the best way that I can. That being said, I think it's important to be very mature in the way that you do things. If you have to be around somebody toxic constantly, like let's say it's with work, I think handle yourself in the most mature way. Because if you handle yourself in an immature way, that gives people the right to speak badly about you, and then also just doesn't show, it shows that you are immature. Acting maturely and acting respectfully. Honestly, have a conversation. Like, you know what, if you feel like someone around you is being toxic, I feel like honesty really is the best policy. And I think I do in my life have some regrets with the way that I've handled friendships in the past. Me just going ghost and cutting somebody off is not like the most mature thing to do. I think at the end of the day, it is someone that was in your life. It's somebody that you shared memories with. It's somebody that you might have had some fun times with. They are a human being. That the best thing is to have a conversation. Like, be like, listen, like this just isn't serving me anymore in a positive light. We need to have a break. And I think having a conversation is a beautiful, mature way to end a friendship. I think I don't recommend anymore just cutting somebody off. I also think that it's very important to have forgiveness, because I think a lot of people hold on to resentment. I'm such a non-confrontational person. I don't like to confront people and be like, listen, you did this, this, and this. I didn't like that. Like, I need to cut you off. It's just like not a fun conversation to have. Do I regret cutting them off? Not necessarily. I think I regret the way I handle things. That's why I'm giving that advice to you guys, is that you guys can handle these things better than I did. Have that mature conversation, because at the end of the day, it is a person that you were friends with, that you did share some memories with, are also a human being. And it's like not a good thing to leave people like questioning, you know, what happened, what's going on. And it also makes you kind of look like the bad guy. Of course, if someone is toxic, like, don't let them be in your life, you know, but have that conversation with them and let them know what's going on. You know, at the end of the day, you don't want somebody in your life that's stopping you from being the best version of yourself. So you should always put yourself first. If you're dealing with toxic people in your workplace, in your circles, in your groups, put yourself first. I think also, like, not everything is so serious. Some people in your life are not meant to be like lifelong, forever friends. Like, some people just are in your life for a certain time period, and then maybe you guys just go your separate ways for a certain time period. Really not that serious. Like, not everyone is meant to be like a ride or die. And I think that's something that was really hard for me to accept. I think it's because I'm a Scorpio moon. I blame everything on my zodiac, but it is really so true. I am a Scorpio moon, so I'm very much so ride or die. Like, anyone that's in my circle, I'm very ride or die. I'm like, you are like my best friend. Like, I take this friendship really seriously, and I would take everything and everything people do in my life very serious. And that's led me to a lot of disappointment and a lot of mistrust. As I've gotten older, I've realized that I don't have to look at every single person in my life as a ride or die. I don't have to look at every single person in my life as somebody that I can 100% trust. You know, there's some people that you can just have fun with, have fun memories with, but you don't need to 100% trust them. So if you're like me and you've struggled with that, like, I just want to help a girl out, you know, that it's really not that deep, and take life a little more lightly and really enjoy every day and stop overthinking. I think that was my biggest thing that I had to overcome. And also forgiveness. Forgive anybody who has ever done me wrong. Let it go. Push them back. Next question I got that I thought was a good question is, do you ever struggle with social anxiety? A lot of the times anxiety really could be in your head, and it could be just things that you make up that are not true. And I think that my anxiety used to stem from like the fear of being judged by what people think about me, and I felt like I could never really be my full self. When I would meet people, I'd feel like I'd have to put on like a certain persona. I think that now, as I've kind of grown up, I'm kind of like, I just really don't care. Like, I'm just gonna be myself when I meet people, and I'm gonna show people my personality right away, and if they like it, cool. If they don't like it, that's okay. Not everyone is meant to be in your life. Who really cares what people think about you? Like, I used to care so much more. Like, if somebody doesn't like you or they don't like your personality, great. There's like 7 billion other people that they could like. Maybe just you're not that person, and that's fine. Like, right now, I'm super happy with my social surroundings. I don't really have like social anxiety. I used to have a lot more social anxiety when I was around the wrong people, and I think that's why it's so important to surround yourself with people that don't give you anxiety, with people that just make you feel calm and make you feel like you could be yourself without any judgment. It's so tiring, probably, and it was so tiring to be around people that you know are judging you, and you know that don't like you. So I think that now I don't really have as much social anxiety, and even when it comes to meeting new people, I've realized that everything that I thought negatively about myself was all in my head, and that I know who I am, and I'm super confident now in who I am. Especially in the last year, I would say I meet people with full confidence, being like, this is me. You either like me or you don't, and that's that. Confidence comes with age, and it also comes with just accepting yourself for who you are. This is a really good one. What is it like living in Miami? Would you ever live elsewhere? Okay guys, so I went back inside my house because it was way too hot outside. Anyway, so the question was, what do we think about Miami? I think that Miami is a beautiful place to live. Of course, we have the beach, we have the weather. I do think, like, honestly, not sugarcoating anything, it gets really hot in the summer, to the point like I can't be outside for longer than 10 minutes without compulsively sweating, and my makeup starts to like kind of melt, like, hair gets frizzy. Styling your hair in Miami, especially in the summer, is impossible. Like, your hair's gonna frizz up, you're gonna sweat. It's a very expensive city to live in right now due to the amount of people that moved here. Of course, the amount of people moving in has led to like more restaurants, more businesses, which is all great things. Like there's a lot to do now in Miami and a lot of places, really cool places to go to. It's almost more expensive than New York City. But in New York City, you're living in New York City. No, you're living in like an actual downtown. Here in Miami, it's kind of, you're living in a tropical island, paying a crazy amount of money. That being said, I do think that there is a really amazing sense of peace here, where it's a very calm city. It's not hectic, at least kind of by where I live. I do think down south it's a little more hectic, so it is important to know like what areas to live in South Florida. Obviously the weather is great, especially after the summer. I would say like the best months start in September. Like anything after September, it is beautiful out here. You know, we don't have harsh winters. Like winter here is like 60-50 degrees, and that's usually like at night. We rarely have like really bad cold fronts. I remember we had one once where it was like in the 30s, but that's very, very rare. So fall and winter and even spring is absolutely beautiful. March and April are beautiful months, but the second summer kicks in, I always want to get out of here. And when I'm stuck here because of work, and I'm like, oh my god, it is just dreadful. Like you really cannot be outside. Sometimes I'll get out of my car and like I have to go to Publix, for example. That 2 seconds that I'm outside from my car to Publix, like I feel like I'm gonna pass out because of how bad the heat is. And it's not just the heat, it's the humidity. The humidity is like at 80%. It's obviously a beautiful city, like, you know, it's very tropical. I don't know what I have to say about the people. I feel like it's important to surround yourself with the right people here, because there's a lot of crowds that go out and party and are still in that stage in their life, and there's also a lot of people that don't really do anything. They like don't work, they don't have any motivation for anything other than going out. And it's just like the culture here is very much so like party and going out, and there's a lot of people in my age, 27, 28, that are still doing those things instead of focusing on their future, their careers. Like they're just having fun, just living. Me, like like that's not what I want to be surrounded by, and you could find a lot of people like that here. So it's really important to surround yourself with the right people. Living in Miami, and our friends are mostly people that are working, like no one's really going out, all couples. So I also think a lot of people here hang out with people from their childhood. I think that it could be very intimidating moving here as like a new city, because the Latin culture is, especially, obviously there's a lot of Latin people here. The Latin culture is like very tight knit with their friends and family, so like it's very hard, from what I've experienced, for them to accept new people. You know, as for me, like a lot of my friends are like Herman's childhood friends, and they're like all in couples, and like we're all very, very close now. But I know so many people that are surrounded by the wrong people. So there's a lot of like really fake and superficial people here as well. A lot of users, a lot of people that just like social climb and like are just here to like show what they're wearing, what car they drive, and that vibe. And that is just like so not my vibe. So common misconception people have about being an influencer. So this is a really interesting question, because before I say anything negative about being an influencer, I want to talk about the positives and how thankful and blessed I am to be a quote-unquote influencer. I hate that term because it has a lot of negative connotation. I think the biggest misconception is people think influencers don't really do anything. They just get paid for like waking up and going and running errands. And I've been seeing that a lot. And yes, I will put it out there. I think that our job is a lot easier than probably most of the people that we know. It's so much easier to, you know, work from home, to just, you know, film content of you being yourself and get paid for it. Like that is the most blessed thing ever. So that's what I want to say. Like I am so blessed to be able to do what I do. But I think the misconception is that we're not hard workers, that we're dumb, superficial, which I completely understand why people might think that. Or full of ourselves, because we're constantly showing ourselves in our life and blah blah. And another misconception could be that we're fake, that everything about us is fake, that we have like, so much work done. There's just, the list can go on. And like the first thing I can say is about being a hard worker. I'm sure there's a lot of influencers out there that maybe don't work as hard. Most of the influencers or content creators that I know and that I look up to, like you can see their grind. They are posting every single day. They're posting videos every single day on their reels, on TikToks. Like I wake up in the morning, I'm like, okay, with all of that, I'm sometimes working till like 2 a.m. And I'm not complaining about it, because I love what I do and I'm super blessed. And I know that I'm lucky to have what I have, but I'm just explaining the misconception that we are not hard workers is something I completely disagree with, because I know that I am a really hard worker. I think that I just have it a lot easier in terms of my schedule. Like, I can go and run an errand if I need to instead of having to work. I can wake up at whatever time I want to wake up. I can go do a workout class if I want to do a workout class, which I'm so blessed and thankful for. But it doesn't mean I work less. I still work a lot, and like my fiance will come back home and like I'll still be like on my computer, like answering email, editing a YouTube video, and you know, sometimes we'll have dinner, we finish dinner and he's like going to bed and I'm like, you know, I have to work, I have to finish this YouTube video. You know, I definitely think we deal with a lot less stress though. I think that, you know, people that actually have like corporate jobs deal with a lot more stress. That I have to say, yes, it's not as much of a stressful job, but I think it is a very hard job sometimes to show every aspect of your life, because I do sometimes wish I could be more private. I wish that as a content creator, I didn't have to show every aspect of my life, but then sometimes I feel like maybe I won't be that interesting if I don't show every aspect of my life. You know what they say, like, privacy is a privilege, and it really is. Sometimes, like when I'm really going through it or I'm having like a breakdown about something, I'm like, I wish I could just, you know, have my Instagram on private, share anything in my life. Nobody who knows my business, nobody knows what's going on. Then I'm like, you know what? Who cares? I'm so lucky to be able to do this. So it's all about the way that you look at it. And I would say like one of the hard things really is like being so out and open about everything. Like, you guys obviously ask me a lot of personal questions. You guys want to see those personal things. You want to know those personal things, and I understand that, because I also love when I watch my favorite content creators and they show and they share those things. But it is definitely hard sometimes to be, you know, sometimes I just want to have dinner with my fiance and not have to film it, or sometimes I just want to wind down and not have to film my wind down routine. Even when I think like that, I'm like, who cares? The one about being fake and superficial, I think there definitely is a lot of superficial content creators, you know, that talk a lot about materialistic things or buying themselves expensive things. I find that I'm like very self-aware with all of that. I like to really like flaunt things, like, yeah, like I'll share with you guys, I got a new car, or we moved into a nicer apartment, or, you know, this is the furniture I got, but I don't like to be like in your face about it. I think that some content creators are, for sure. But it is about also who you follow. There's so many different types of content creators. I always try to be like really aware of what I'm sharing. And if I buy myself like designer piece, I don't like to show it in people's face. I'm not gonna be like, look at my new Cartier ring, or look at my new Cartier bracelet. Even when I got engaged, and Steve Herman gave me like the most beautiful ring, but I wasn't like, hey guys, like this is this much carats and this and that, you know, like it's just not something that I think is important. But that's, you know, everyone has their own thing. Another misconception is that we are like fake or full of ourselves, like super conceited and narcissistic, and I can see that, because I know like everything I post is about me. My whole life, everything I post, my vlogs, my pictures, they're all me, of my life revolving around me. And yeah, being an influencer is it's a world that is surrounded around you. Like, it really is about showing yourself. I know that it could be perceived as like narcissistic or full of yourself, but I personally see it as confidence, because I think when a woman is confident in herself and loves to post herself, it's so crazy when I see girls putting other girls down. A woman that's confident. I have seen comments like, oh my god, all she does is post herself, all she does is like do her skincare and makeup, so full of herself. I've seen some people be like in my makeup intros, like, oh my god, like that intro, like you're so full of yourself. And I'm like, no, I'm just confident in my skin, and I like to show you guys that, like, you know, when I look good, I want to show you guys, like I want to take a picture and show it to the world. Like it's just how I even started. Let's take it back to when I was 16, 17. How did I even get to like be where I am at right now? Is literally through content creation and through showing you guys, oh my god, like look, my makeup looked so pretty this day, let me show it to you guys. Oh my god, look, my outfit looked so good this day, let me take a picture and post it. And it's not because I'm trying to be like, oh my god, look at me, like in your face. It's just more I have fun creating content. Like, it's fun for me, and it's something I enjoy doing, and like it's not meant for everyone. And I think that most people that also meet me can attest to the fact that they at first would think that I'm like full of myself or bitch, but people always say like, you're so different than what I had to switch over to my phone because my camera was just being ridiculous and kept dying. I don't know what's going on. So anyways, next question is, what do you do to keep your hair so healthy? Yeah, as you guys have probably noticed, my hair has grew so much. I think I can like just attest to, like, in the last 2 years, I think since I went blonde, I always felt like my hair was just never the same, which was, you guys, 4 years ago, in 2020, when I decided to be spontaneous and dye my hair blonde. Which, by the way, side note, I feel like when I did that, I was just trying to be like everybody else. And I want to go into this briefly because it's something I've realized, like, upon doing a reflection. Always growing up, I always thought I looked different. I always thought that I, you know, had dark features, dark eyebrows, I was hairy. The list goes on. And so I never was confident in myself. I always thought, you know, people thought I looked different or weird and not like the usual girl next door, blonde hair, blue eyes vibe. You know what I mean? And so I think in 2020, when the pandemic hit, I was like, you know what? I just want to be like everybody else. Like, everybody loves the girl next door, blonde girl. Like, I just want to be like everyone else, not stand out so much, which is like the craziest thing. Why did I think that? I don't know. And that's why I went blonde, because I wanted to just fit it. Just wanted to be accepted. And I feel like by the American world and by Americans, I was more accepted. People liked me more. It was weird. I truly do think that when I was blonde, people liked me more. I think that you look less intimidating, you look friendlier. The list goes on. You truly have like that girl next door vibe. That was the biggest mistake of my life. I totally effed up my hair for years. It was never able to grow out the way that it was pre me going blonde. I used to have the most beautiful, thick, healthy hair. Like, I was so blessed with my hair. It would grow so fast, it would never break. I still feel like to this day, even though my hair looks really healthy, I still feel like the texture is not the same. And I don't think this has to do with being blonde or not. I don't know what happened. Maybe just like as you get older, it changes a little. It's gotten really long, as you guys can see, and I've been consistently using rosemary oil every single week on my scalp. I use the Go Lab Beauty one. Then I take a scalp massaging brush and really like get it and massage my hair for a couple of minutes. And then I go in with the Roundabout hair fortifying serum. Put it on my ends and I let that marinate in my hair for a couple of hours. I use, right now, I've been using the Redken like pH balancing. It's like the white bottle. I've been using that shampoo and conditioner. I've been loving it. On my hair, either with like my Dyson blow dryer, rollers, my flex tool. Also what you put into your body. Like, I've been taking a lot more vitamins, like fish oils, vitamins B, D3, K2. Okay, so then I got another question about my current favorite morning skincare routine. And I've been such a fan of K-Beauty. I know I haven't really showed or filmed my skincare routine in a while, but basically I've been using like a lot of K-Beauty products. TikTok has influenced me tremendously. I literally spend like hours scrolling on TikTok looking at all these different like really cool like overnight masks, and like from the Medicube collagen one, I'm obsessed with that one. The Nua deep cleansing foam and cleansing oil, so I double cleanse at night to really like make sure I get all the dirt and makeup out of my face. Then I go in with a toner pad. It's either the Medicube pore pads, or I've been loving the Nunbazin Centella pads. It's like a blue bottle. Those are literally the best ones I've ever tried. And then I'll go in with like a toner system. So it kind of depends on the night or what I'm feeling. Usually I've been gravitating towards Mixsoon. So I'll do the Bifida essence, then I'll go in with the Galactomyces essence, and I'll go in with the Centella Asiatica essence. On those combined is a skincare smoothie for like restoring your skin barrier, for hydrating your skin, preventing aging. Yeah, that's my go-to. I got was, do you want to be a mother someday? Yes, I definitely want to build a family. I think that family is one of the most beautiful things about life. Honestly, I'm in no rush. Like, I feel like I am still very young. I know I'm 27, but I feel like there really is no rush. That day will definitely come. It's definitely something I want. Right now, I do want to enjoy my life. There's just still so much I want to do. And not saying that a child stops you from doing those things, but it just makes it a little more difficult. So I want to, like, for example, go to so many places with Herman. Like, there's so many places I want to travel to and go to with him before we have a child. And I just think traveling is going to be very difficult once you have a baby. Like, you at least can't travel for the first couple years while they're really small. Creating a human being that is like half you and half the person that you love is like one of the most beautiful things. And not just that, it's like, it's creating a family, it's creating something that a different kind of love, like it's literally a part of you, you know. And I definitely want to experience that. Like I want to experience what that's like, and I want to also give my child the best possible life ever. I didn't have the easiest childhood, I didn't have the easiest upbringing. When I bring a little human into this world, I want to make sure that my life is like 100% stable. Not saying it's not now, it's just I want to make sure like everything is perfect for them, even though I know that's impossible, but you know what I mean. Like ideally I want to have a girl and a boy. I don't think it matters if I have a girl or a boy first. I'd be happy with both. I think when I was younger I wanted to have a boy more because I felt like I was always surrounded by girls all my life. Like I have my sister, my nieces, everyone's like all girls. And I was like, oh, like it'd be fun to have a cute little boy. But now that I think about it, it's so much more fun to have a cute little girl. Like I get to dress her up cute, like I can do her hair, like, you know what I mean? Like just, but honestly, I'd be happy with whatever God decides to bless me with. Okay, so the next question was, how's engaged life hasn't made a difference in your relationship? Engaged life is great. I do think that it's definitely something that makes you excited about the future. I don't think it's made a huge difference in terms of like how I feel about my then boyfriend, now fiance. I feel like if anything it just solidified us more as a couple, knowing that we were ready to take this next step. I think it's changed anything in terms of like how we view each other, in terms of how we love each other. Nothing. Like it literally feels the same thing. Like the only thing that has changed is like honestly more pressure from just like outside world and family and all this stuff about like wedding, having kids, and all this kind of stuff, like the next step. And I think I've talked about this before, but I feel like people are just like never satisfied, and you have to learn not to satisfy people. That it's like your relationship is your relationship, and it's not about like satisfying other people. Like now, like that we got literally the second we got engaged, it's already been almost a year. Like the first question was like, when's the wedding? Like, are you gonna like do it in like a couple months? Like people were expecting like we're gonna have a wedding like within a couple months, and I was like, no. Like first of all, we want to take a moment and enjoy being engaged. And to me, like if I were to have a wedding, I wanted it to be a certain picture that how I've always pictured it. And if it wasn't going to be that way, it was like I'd rather just elope, you know what I mean? To be not lavish or anything. I'm actually not. I want a small intimate wedding. I think I've talked about this, anything too lavish or too in your face, but there was just a certain way that I envisioned it, and if I couldn't do it that way, I was like I'd rather just elope. Regardless, like weddings are very expensive. Like when you start looking at the numbers for weddings, like there was some venues that were like $15,000, and some catering quotes that were like it's crazy, you guys. Like it truly is so expensive, and it gets you thinking sometimes, should we save this and buy a house? There was a lot of discussions like that about, is it worth it? Is having a wedding worth it? So like I think that's the only thing that has changed, is that we've had like a lot more discussions about like what our next step is with like this engaged era. Want to have a wedding? Do we want to buy a house? Do we want to save the money? Do we want to spend the money? Like it's more so that, but it hasn't really changed anything in our relationship. That comes with being engaged. So it's definitely important to have those conversations with your partner in like a healthy, respectful way. Other than that, hasn't really changed much. I think if anything, it solidified us more. Like not that we were both ever insecure about our relationship, but of course there's definitely a sense of security that comes with being engaged. You know, you feel like, you know, you're for sure gonna be with this person forever, I guess, even though I always knew that, and I feel like Herman always knew that too. But it's kind of like, it just like makes it like a thing that like, you know, for sure, you know. But it hasn't changed the way I view him, it hasn't changed the way he views me. I definitely think that this is like a weird like thing that I've noticed. Girls that were in relationships now like me more, and I don't know if that's just like a weird thing I've noticed, but I feel like when I wasn't engaged, people that are engaged or married think you're like single technically, and that you're not like, you know what I don't know like if I'm right about this, but it kind of felt like that people thought. I feel like girls that were like in very serious relationships, like engaged or married, I'd see you as like, oh, like she's still like not, you know, like she's still kind of sick. And I've noticed that, and now that I got engaged, like these girls that were married or engaged have wanted to be my friend more after I got engaged. But I guess I might be making assumptions, but I feel like it does change the way that people view you. I feel like people are nicer to me. Like I've noticed, and it's like, this is a good answer actually. Nothing has changed in our relationship, but what has changed was how people view me. Now when people see that I'm engaged, they're like, oh, you're engaged? Wow, oh my God, you're so young. Like, that is so exciting. And like, people like genuinely like want to get to know me more. It's weird. But yeah, let me go over it. The next question I had was, how is wedding planning going? I'm super excited to see you in your wedding dress. I cannot wait for the day. Decided as a whole not to share my wedding era as much as I was when I just got engaged. I think when I just got engaged, obviously I was just like so excited and like so happy that let's make this a whole thing. But now that it's been like almost a year since I got engaged and I've taken the time to just like really process everything, I'm like, not everyone needs to know like my next thing and like what our venue is, blah blah. I think that I am really excited. Also, another question about motivation. How do you stay motivated? I find these questions to be very difficult to answer. I feel like there is no right answer. I feel like motivation for everyone is very different. And one thing I realized recently is that nobody's really motivated. Like, nobody wants to go work out every single day, and nobody wants to work every single day from 9 to 10 p.m. Like, nobody, like, it's not in our human nature. You know what I mean? Like, we just want to live and be happy. And what sets that apart is not necessarily motivation, but I think it's discipline. And I think that discipline is something that you have to teach yourself. You as an adult have to discipline yourself. You had your parents growing up disciplining you, and because in human nature, we're like, when we're born, we're just like, in our human nature, it's just natural to not necessarily be the most disciplined, and that's why we have to take it upon ourselves to discipline ourselves. I can admit that sometimes I'm just not disciplined. Sometimes I'm like, I want to sleep and I don't want to work out. No one's motivated to go work out every day. We're just really not. I think what I'm motivated to or addicted to is the feeling after a workout, being like, oh my God, I accomplished that. So that's what disciplines me, to be like, you know what, I'm chasing that. Like, I'm chasing that feeling after an accomplishment. And that's what really motivates me, but that comes with discipline. Anyways, you guys, I feel like I've answered a lot of questions, and I do want to apologize that I had to switch to my phone. My camera's been acting up. I hope you guys enjoyed this like FaceTime chat. If you guys can take anything out of this that will like help you, like, I feel like I did my job. Like, it's just, you know, I just want to be a positive light to you guys, and I feel like if I got that done, then I did my job right. Yeah, anyways, I love you guys. I'm gonna start cooking dinner soon, and I will be vlogging. So I'm making like this red curry Thai meatball recipe that I made last week that I'm so obsessed with. So just gonna add the ingredients. Herman just got me these. So pretty. Okay, I'm about to cook dinner, but one second. Cocoa amino acid crackers, and you have to like squish them like this. 2 cups, since we're doing 2 servings. 1 tablespoon. Yes.
How hot?
400.
That's fine.
Oh, it just melted my glove.
Yeah.
Guys, so I am ready for the weekend. It's Saturday. But anyways, we're gonna quickly go grab some lunch. This is my outfit. I'm wearing my ballet flats. This is a dress I got from Zara a couple years ago, and it's to this day one of my favorite dresses. Also, you guys, I'm wearing the Typology skin tint today, and I'm obsessed with how it makes my skin look. The outfit, I think it's so cute. I'm obsessed with these ballet flats. restaurant, Change of Plans. And it's a new place that we haven't tried before, called 15th Street Fishery. So yeah, you guys, it's the most beautiful day. No clouds in the sky. Okay guys, I'm gonna get the menu. I think I'm gonna get peel and eat shrimp, and they have a lobster salad roll, which looks insane.
I'm super excited. I'm in between the lobster salad roll or the fried grouper sandwich.
Fried grouper sandwich sounds yummy.
I'm gonna see the pictures right now to see what we have.
Since I saw that lobster roll, I saw a picture of it, I was like, that looks like my cup of tea. This place is very like American seafood. I love it. It feels like we're like in the upper East Coast somewhere. Like, it's nice to get out of Miami sometimes and get away from like the whole Miami vibe. This is more like the American East Coast traditional vibe.
Which we love.
Which we love, yeah. No need shrimp. That's really so fresh. But they're juicy. Tell me how good this looks. Yeah. That is so good.
Yeah, I'm gonna color it.
You're so happy right now? That's so funny.